Have you ever noticed that the most capable people in the room are often the hardest to reach? We live in an age of mandatory availability. Society tells you that if you do not respond instantly, you are rude. If you miss a notification, you are negligent. If you are not constantly plugged into the digital hive mind, you are falling behind. They call you antisocial. They call you aloof. Most people live their lives in a state of permanent flinching, jumping at every ping, every vibration, every demand for their attention. They are slaves to the device in their pocket. But perhaps you are different. Perhaps your phone is always on silent. No vibration. No ringtone. Just a black screen. To the average person, this looks like disorganization. But psychology tells a very different story. What the world sees as a defect, the study of the human mind reveals as a superpower. Keeping your phone on silent isn't an act of laziness. It is an act of rebellion. It is the reclaiming of your sovereign mind. Today, we decode the 15 psychological traits of those who live in silence. 1. The rejection of Pavlovian conditioning. Most people have been trained like dogs. It sounds harsh, but behavioral psychologists refer to this as classical conditioning. Just as Pavlov's dogs salivated at the sound of a bell, modern humans spike with anxiety at the sound of a notification. When you keep your phone on silent, you are breaking this stimulus response loop. You are refusing to be trained. You are telling your biology that you decide when to engage, not the algorithm. You have moved from being a reactive creature to a proactive architect. The insight: the master does not dance to the beat of the jester. 2. Mastery of cognitive load. Your brain has a limited amount of processing power. Psychologists call this cognitive load theory. Every time your phone buzzes, even if you don't look at it, your brain registers a micro-interruption. It drains your mental battery just to ignore it. By eliminating the auditory cue, you preserve your cognitive fuel for things that actually matter. While others are exhausted by noon from sensory overload, you are just getting started. You aren't ignoring the world, you are protecting your energy. The insight: silence is the fortress where genius is protected. 3. An internal locus of control. There are two ways to view life. Those with an external locus of control believe life happens to them, they must react to every text instantly to feel safe. Those with an internal locus of control believe they make life happen. When your phone is silent, you are physically demonstrating that you control the flow of information. You dictate the terms of engagement. This is a high-status behavior. It signals that your time is your own, and it cannot be stolen by a random notification. The insight: accessibility is a privilege you grant, not a right they possess. 4. Immunity to the spotlight effect. Many people keep their ringer on because they are terrified of missing out or upsetting someone. This is linked to the spotlight effect, the false belief that everyone is constantly monitoring your behavior. The silent mode individual understands a darker, more liberating truth. People aren't thinking about you as much as you think. By not responding instantly, you aren't destroying relationships, you are filtering them. You attract people who respect your time and repel those who demand your submission. The insight: you do not need the world's permission to disappear. 5. Preservation of the default mode network. Neuroscience tells us that for creativity to happen, the brain needs to enter the default mode network, DMN. This is the state of daydreaming, wandering, and connecting unrelated ideas. A ringing phone is the murderer of the DMN. It snaps you back to rigid reality. By living in silence, you protect these fragile states of mind. You allow your subconscious to work on complex problems without intrusion. The insight: great ideas do not come to those who are constantly available. 6. The scarcity principle. Economics and psychology agree on one thing: the scarcity principle. The more available something is, the less value it holds. If you answer every call on the first ring, your attention is cheap. It is abundant. By keeping your phone on silent and responding on your own timeline, you artificially create scarcity around your attention. People value your reply more because they had to wait for it. Your silence makes your voice heavier. The insight: be rare, and you will be valued. 7. Mitigation of telepressure. Occupational health psychologists have identified a modern stressor called telepressure, the urge to respond to work messages immediately to show dedication. This leads to burnout and resentment. The silent mode individual rejects this unspoken contract. They separate availability from productivity. By creating a technological buffer, you reduce cortisol levels and maintain a calm baseline, while others are in a chronic state of fight or flight. The insight: a calm mind is the ultimate weapon in a chaotic world. 8. Defense against dopamine loops. Smartphones are designed as variable reward systems, similar to slot machines. The ding is the lever pull, the message is the potential jackpot. Most people are dopamine addicts looking for their next fix. When you silence the device, you detoxify your brain. You stop relying on external validation to feel good. You learn to find satisfaction in the work itself, not in the notification that follows it. The insight: the strong man seeks purpose, the weak man seeks applause. 9. Deep work capability. Cal Newport coined the term deep work, the ability to master hard things quickly. This requires long stretches of uninterrupted concentration. It takes the average human brain 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. If your phone buzzes every 10 minutes, you are mathematically incapable of deep work. The silent phone is the tool of the craftsman, the scholar, and the strategist. It is the gatekeeper of depth. The insight, shallow work keeps you employed. Deep work makes you irreplaceable. 10. Emotional regulation and stoicism. In stoicism, the goal is ataraxia, a state of serene calmness and untroubled mind. A sudden loud ringtone triggers a startle response. It disrupts your emotional equilibrium. By removing this variable, you maintain emotional stability. You approach bad news or good news with the same steady hand, because you chose when to receive it. You are never blindsided, you are prepared. The insight, the mountain does not shake when the wind blows. 11. Dominance over FOMO. The fear of missing out, FOMO, drives the need for constant connection. The person with the silent phone has graduated to JOMO, the joy of missing out. They realize that 99% of urgent news is noise. They are comfortable in the void. They do not need to know what everyone else is doing because they are too busy building what they are doing. The insight, if it is truly important, the universe will find a way to tell you. 12. High sensory gating. Sensory gating is the brain's ability to filter out redundant or unnecessary stimuli. Highly intelligent people often have leaky sensory gating, meaning they are easily distracted by noise because they process everything. Keeping the phone on silent is a manual override for this biological trait. It is an external prosthetic for focus. It admits that the world is too loud, and takes measures to silence it. The insight, to hear your own thoughts, you must mute the world. 13. The power of deferred gratification. The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment taught us that the key to success is deferred gratification. Checking a notification is an instant reward. Ignoring it is deferred gratification. By keeping your phone silent, you practice this discipline hundreds of times a day. You train your will. You are building the muscle of patience that translates into financial and physical discipline. The insight, discipline is simply choosing what you want most over what you want now. 14. Authentic presence. When you are with someone, and your phone is silent, you are utilizing active listening. Nothing signals disrespect like glancing at a screen while someone is pouring their heart out. The silent phone signals to the person in front of you, you are the most important thing in my reality right now. This builds deep, loyal alliances that the distracted masses can never achieve. The insight, presence is the rarest gift you can give. 15. Autonomy and self-determination. Finally, we look at self-determination theory. Human beings have a fundamental need for autonomy, to feel that they are the authors of their own actions. The noise of a phone is a command. To obey it is to be a servant. To silence it is to declare independence. It is the modern equivalent of walking into the woods. It is a declaration that you own your life. The insight, freedom is not having nothing to do, it is having nothing that must be done. In a world that screams for attention, silence is the ultimate luxury. It is a sign of confidence. It is a sign of a mind that is not afraid to be alone with itself. If you are one of the few who keeps their phone on silent, do not let society make you feel guilty. Do not let them call you distant. You are simply guarding the gates of your mind. You understand that your attention is the most valuable currency you possess, and you refuse to spend it on cheap distractions. You are not hiding from the world. You are preparing to conquer it. Stay focused, stay silent. If you want to understand the darker, deeper mechanics of your own psychology, and learn how to use them to your advantage, subscribe. Let us decode the human mind together.